Hello there, this is Matt Oechsli. In calculating your bandwidth, now this webinar Wednesday might seem a little bit boring, or this is kind of mundane practice management, but let me assure you that in today's environment, if you're dealing with the affluent, you need the bandwidth. You need to be able to have the time and the resources to properly service today's affluent. By the way, the number one way they have selected their advisor is from a recommendation from somebody they trust or respect, and that's also closely followed by their own the reputation of that advisor. So if the reputation is one who provides hands-on service, is very personable, always has time, that's what you want. And then you look at how did they even encounter their advisor. This is from a marketing perspective. It's all word of mouth. They were introduced by a family member, introduced by a colleague, introduced by a professional. It's introductions, introductions, introductions. Now you take that and then you couple it with what our research has uncovered as the major affluent trends. We call them the macro affluent trends, which is the gender shift. And that means that the female of the affluent household is now intimately involved. So we need time to develop that relationship with both husband and wife, and the relationship shift. The fact that today's affluent, they want to know their financial advisor on a personal level. This is a trust issue. So we need to do things socially with our clients. And again, that just fuels this needing to have the bandwidth. Now, this 21st century practice model, we're really proud of it. We developed this model straight out of our research. I wrote a book on it called Building a 21st Century Financial Practice. We've tweaked it over the years, but it has really stood the test of time. There's a business development process. Your business has to be in a growth mode or else it's going to be dying. But business development is inextricably linked to client loyalty, and especially with the affluent world. You cannot grow your business in the world of the affluent without loyal affluent clients. Wealth management services, you need to have the bandwidth to really provide the full array of services today's affluent want, because they want a solutions provider to oversee the multidimensional aspects of their family's financial affairs. And then that brings us to practice management, the operational efficiencies. Now, it's virtually impossible to be operationally efficient if we don't have the bandwidth, if we have too many clients. So then, you see, the question is, how many clients can you properly service? And this is important when it comes to the affluent and maybe the sort of almost affluent. And so you look at bandwidth. The proper coverage, is proactive face-to-face contact. By the way, the number one preferred medium of communication of today's affluent is face-to-face. So not only do they want reviews face-to-face, but they want to socialize with you face-to-face. They want to maybe stop into your office. They might want to have lunch with you. They might want to go to some little social event. So we have to go above and beyond for our affluent clients. And that then, the trade-off, it enables us to penetrate their spheres of influence. And that's what we teach at our Rainmaker retreats. How do we penetrate those spheres of influence, without insulting our clients, without coming across salesy? But if we have too many clients, on the other hand, we just have limited proactive contact. We get into all the superficial, contact mechanisms that advisors use, like ghost-written newsletters, email contact, spammed email. There's limited platinum service touches. And then there's limited positive word of mouth. You're very unlikely to be recommended, by a professional or somebody they trust. Your reputation is probably not really what you'd like it to be. So bandwidth is critically important. And then, so the first step is to do inventory. And the inventory is basically, there's really four components. What's a certain amount of assets under management that gets your attention, and or what's the revenue that's being generated and per client, and or is there upgrade potential? Is there more behind it? Do they have assets elsewhere? Could you provide maybe a more complete array of wealth management services and fully monetize that relationship if you had the time? And are they a sphere of influence? Can they take you into their circles and really help you grow your business? Now, if they meet any of those criteria, they should be above what we call your firewall. And every year you should be doing this exercise and revisiting your firewall, because below the firewall is where you have clients that minimal revenue or no potential, and they probably need to be serviced somewhere else. And so from that segmentation, this is above your firewall, you have platinum clients, top tier clients. And for simplicity purposes, we say this is your top 25. And every advisor would like to replicate their top 25 clients. So just to keep it simple, these are your top 25 clients. And then your gold standard clients are the clients that are above your firewall. They're still profitable clients. They're just not your top tier. And you want to segment them by assets, revenue, center of influence potential and upgrade potential. And after you've segmented, you want to make absolutely clear everyone on your team, everyone in your practice knows which client is a platinum client and what is the groupings for the gold clients. From there, it enables you to develop service models. And this is the key to operational efficiency and practice management. It's very, very challenging, as I said earlier, to have effective practice management if you have too many clients. You just don't have the bandwidth. So with your platinum top tier clients, you can have the frequency of contact that they want. You can do the personal touches, like have a personal financial organizer for each family. You can meet with the family. You can meet with the next generation of that family, and share the organizer. You can invite these clients to small little intimate social events. You can get them to bring a friend or somebody who you hand select from their sphere of influence. You can socialize with them over a lunch. You can give them 24/7-hour cell phone access. You can, wow them with little surprise and delight gifts, because you have the bandwidth to do this. And then your gold service model is basically everyone else that's north of your firewall. So yes, they get serviced, and yes, you're going to give them good value. It's just not at the personalized level of your top clients, and there's a clear line of demarcation. They get less frequent contact. They get maybe workday access. They maybe get birthday cards or holiday cards, and even here, make sure you personalize those cards. Don't make them mechanical, and they get basic services as needed. Now, this bandwidth calculator, this is what we're going to send everyone on the call as our value add to you. And this is merely a template we provided. And when we send it to you, it's going to be in an Excel spreadsheet. You're going to be able to create your own. But this template here that we're showing you is just an example of a hypothetical advisor who has 150 clients, and 25 of these clients are platinum clients. And these platinum clients have their platinum service model. And as you can see there, they get 4 face-to-face reviews a year. They're invited to 4 social engagements. They have a financial plan meeting. They have an financial organizer. They have total cell phone access 24/7. And we put 5 hours of miscellaneous. Then you look hours per client. So you're basically dedicating 28 hours per affluent client, per your top tier platinum client. And that's 700 hours a year, and it boils down to 14.6 hours a week. Now you go down to your gold service model. You have 125 gold clients. They're profitable clients. But they get 1 face-to-face review, 1 telephone review, 1 social engagement, 1 financial plan, and maybe 3 miscellaneous hours. So that's 11 hours total per client, per year, and that looks, on the surface, it looks fine because it's much less than the 28 hours on your platinum clients. But you got 125 of these gold clients. So you're spending 1,375 hours a year on your gold clients compared to 700 hours a year on your platinum clients. Or if you break it down weekly, you're spending 28.6 hours a week on your gold clients versus 14.6 hours a week on your platinum clients. Now that's wrong. And when you do the analysis, so you look at your time analysis, now you look at your revenue analysis. The revenue produced by your platinum clients, we just use the 80-20 breakdown, and we know advisors sometimes it's 70-30, sometimes it's 90-10. But here, for simplicity purposes, you got $800,000 revenue generated from those top 25 clients. That's $32,000 per client. That's $1,142.86 per hour spent. So these are $1,000 plus per hour clients. Versus your gold clients, where you're generating $200,000 in total revenue. That's $1,600 of revenue per client, and it's $145 an hour. So it's a little over $100 an hour per client versus over $1,000 an hour per client. So the whole idea here is the bandwidth calculator, and you put your own numbers in here, and you work this yourself. The idea is to create the bandwidth so we can replicate our top 25 clients. This is all about relationship management linked inextricably to relationship marketing. They are so connected. It's almost a nexus where they feed off one another.